Got that check? Audio check one, two, check one, checking for sound quality. Check one. Are we good with that? Check in, check in. A very good morning to you and welcome to STETHS Sports Complex. This is Busta Sports Note, Headley Cup match between STETHS and HOLMWOOD. STETHS won the toss and they have decided to field, so HOLMWOOD will be taking strike. The two opening batters are Sajay Green and Brian McInnes. In a moment, I'll tell you who will be facing. The bowling will be coming from the northern end, and that is going to be Silvera. Silvera is going to be taking up the attack from the southern end, the main road end. And last year he was in very good form. He had the batters in a serious problem with his in swingers. Let us see what this season has brought. Stets, so far they won four of their games. The last was against that team in southern Manchester, Cross Keys. They bowled them out for 24 runs. Let us see what will happen here today with Homewood because easily these two are the best teams in the group. And we are hoping for a good game today. I'll not tell you where my prejudice lies, but as the game goes on, you may be able to find that out. Oh, I thought they were going to begin from the northern end, but they're coming from the pavilion end. The bowler will be from the pavilion end. It's going to be Adrian Silveira. He had a good season. I think he was injured somewhat, so we weren't able to see his full potential. But he seems to be fit and rearing to go. So McInnes is going to be facing the first delivery from Silver. Let us look at the field. Has not yet settled. That there's a man at fine leg, one at mid wicket, mid on. There is a field that in the gully, a man at point, one in the covers, and a mid off. So McInnes getting ready to take first strike, and Silvera now running in. Passes jumper left arm and he bowls, and that one is just played into the covers by McInnes. No real devil in the pitch so far after this first delivery. McInnes looks quite comfortable, but Silvera not yet up to full pace. But as the game goes on, I'm thinking that we'll see the pitch doing a little bit. Stet's pitch is known for being very quick, but let us see if Silvia can extract any pace and bounce out of it. Silvia, left arm, over. Forward comes McInnes. Just scored a wicket on the offside, and the fielder was around quickly to collect. Batsman had no thought of a single. No score yet. Second delivery gone. Stets, they won the toss and decided to field. Silver again with his third delivery. McInnes is just playing that into the leg side. The man had shot mid wicket, running around to his right to collect, and still they have not yet troubled the scorer. Three deliveries gone in this first over. Stets, as I said before, won the toss, elected to field. Adrian Silvera bowling from the pavilion end, and he's bowling to Brian McInnes of HOLMWOOD. Still the same field as I started out with. Silvera again. McInnes forward, and Silvera moving smartly to his left. Pick that one up, and no run. McInnes not troubled yet by anything Silvera has bowled. Looks quite easy so far. I'm thinking that pitch will quicken up. Silvera running in. Gets to the Parno and he delivers, and McInnes is quite comfortable behind that one, playing it down to mid off. Still no run on the board. That's the fourth delivery of five deliveries to go. The scorer is doing a good job of catching me up on that. Final delivery of this over by Silvera. Here he comes now. Running in. Passes the umpire. He jumps and he delivers left arm that is played into the short mid wicket region. And there is no run. End of the over. A maiden over by Silvera. So nothing on the board yet for HOLMWOOD. One gets the feeling that McInnes is just playing himself in, just playing his eye in, so to speak, trying to find out what the bowlers have. You just faced one bowler, Silvera, and he wasn't troubled by him at all. Probably Silvera not yet warmed up. So when that happens, we'll see. So Sandra Green is going to be facing, or he's going to be facing Ikoni Robinson. Ikoni, these names nowadays you have to get the proper pronunciation from the owner, the name himself. But I'll just stick to the name Robinson. So he has two slips, a gully point. He has a man in the mid wicket, mid on area, a man in the covers. Here comes Robinson now. Delivers outside the off stump. No shot offered by Creed. He just watched that one into the hands of the keeper. No trouble there at all. Seven deliveries bowled in the Homewood innings, and there's still no run on the board. Robinson again to Green, just playing that one down the pitch, and no run resulting from it. Still no run on the board for Homewood. False start by Robbins. The umpire pushes out his left hand to stop him. Fielder was coming in, he lost his cap. Robinson again starting his run. Down the leg side, and that is into the boundary. I'm not sure whether they got a touch. The umpire pounds his right leg to indicate that it is a leg by. So the first run on the board for Homewood, a leg by from a wayward delivery down the leg side by Robinson. Green was getting inside his stumps to play that one. It came off his pad and it really hustled into the boundary. The man at fine leg never had a chance. Robinson again. Outside the off stump. No shot offered by Green. Just raised the bat and had a look at it as it went through to the wicketkeeper. That's Reed behind the stumps. Hilmaro Reed. I'll not pretend that I do not have a difficulty pronouncing some of these modern names. Here comes Robinson again. Passes the umpire, bowls, and Green is driving him into the mid-on area. Can't get it through. And still no run off the batters yet. But the score is Homewood on 4. Final delivery. Here comes Robinson. And it's hit on the pad, and the umpire raises the finger. He's out LBW. That final delivery from Green, well pitched up from Robinson. Green played a nothing shot really, but hit on the pad, and the umpire slowly raised the deadly finger. So Homewood, they are now 4 runs for 1 wicket. That's the wicket of Green going without troubling the scorer. So to replace him, so Kemar Williamson is the next batter. Kemar Williamson. Kemar Williamson. So that was the last ball of the over from Robinson, getting a wicket, the wicket of Sajay Green, and he went LBW for naught. So Williamson will not have the opportunity to face yet because that was the last ball of the over. McInnes will face as he did the first over. Easily playing that down down the pitch, and the bowler going through that Silvera picked up quite easily. Goes back to his mark. He has a look at the ball, wondering what he should do with it next. Will it be an in swinger? Will it be an out swinger? Will it be a Yorker length delivery? He alone knows what it will be. We have to wait and see what happens. Starts his run again. Passes the ump and he bowls, and he's driving at that outside the off stump as McInnes couldn't get a touch. Wicketkeeper Reed collected smartly, tossed it to the man at slip, who's doing some work on it, and eventually it will get back to Silvera to continue the attack. Another dot delivery. Still no run off the batters yet. 4 on the board for Homewood, courtesy of a leg by off the bowling of Robinson. Silvera delivers outside the off stump and smartly collected by Reed. That was a delivery that did not trouble McInnes. Never had to play at it. Right outside the off stump, and he just watched it into the gloves of Reed. So four for one from Homewood, courtesy of a leg by. The wicket of Sajay Green when the LBW route for naught. Silvera went around this time, down the leg side, and Reed did a smart bit of work collecting that, or else it would have gone down to fine leg, probably would have beaten the man on the boundary. Third over so far in this game. One delivery to go. McKinney still to face. Has not troubled the scorer so far. Silvera around the wicket now, left arm. Here he comes and he delivers. And McKinney struck the full face of the bat, played that one down into the covers. End of the over. Homewood 4 for 1. The batters conversing in the middle of the pitch, wonder what strategy they are discussing. So it's Williamson to face Robinson. Two slips a gully, point, mid wicket, cover, mid off, mid on, man on the fine leg boundary. Here comes Robinson. Oh, good delivery outside the off stump. Robinson again. And Williamson is just driving at that. It was a Yorker length delivery. The appeal went up, but might have been two sounds there. The umpire would have absolutely none of it. Umpire Brown at the northern end, he indicated that that wasn't out. So Robinson has to go back to his mark and try again. Still no change in the field. Robinson passes the umpire and he bowls, and there's a good length delivery outside the off stump. Williamson had not a swish, but he pushed the bat forward, was no near near the delivery, and it went about wayside to Reed, who collected quite cleanly. Short delivery outside the off stump. Williamson had a swish at it, made no contact, and Reed collected the players in the slips and the gully. They were quite excited about it, but there was no bat close to that one. Robinson again. Holdander is driving that outside the off stump. Not getting close to it is Williamson. Lucky for him, he didn't get a touch because wicketkeeper Reed was there waiting for it, and he collected quite cleanly. Final delivery of the over coming up. Robinson outside the off stump. No shot. The end of the over, and that leaves Homewood with just four on the board, four from a leg by, four for one. Silvera to continue from the pavilion end. Could see him doing some work on the ball, shining it to maintain the shine so that he can get some movement. Still two slips, fine leg, mid on, gully, point, cover, mid off. Silvera again around the wicket, and that one is played into the wide mid wicket area. The fielder was around, collected cleanly, and no run. Silvera delivers. Oh, that was a ball bouncing about almost shoulder height, going across the batter, and it never had anything to do with it. Reed collected quite easily, was hoping for a nick, but nothing happened there. Silvera. And it's driving, go through the covers. Beautiful shot. They come for one. They're coming back for the second, and that's all they'll get. That came out of the middle of the bat. And That was a beautiful shot by McInnes. Just getting to the pitch of the ball and caressing it through the covers. And they were able to get 2 runs. 6 for 1, Homewood. Silvera continuing over the wicket, the ball to McInnes. Down the leg side, a keeper going across, collecting cleanly. No run there. Silvera again. McInnes is coming forward on the front foot, driving that one, and it's taken. Oh, that looks so casual by McInnes. He came forward, just pushed it back into the hand of Silvera, who accepted it gladly, threw it into the air, and is being congratulated by his fellow fielders. So McInnes goes for 2, and the score is now up to 6. Homewood 6 for 2. Silvera. So the new batter is Rashid Palmer. He's left-handed and he's wearing a yellow cap. No helmet. Is not word. He has a helmet. It looks from this distance like a cap. Former years would call it a tough cap. Final delivery from Silvera. He aborts his run. Umpire signals dead ball. So Rashid Palmer to face the final delivery of this over from Silvera. Over the wicket and he bows and that one is down the leg side. Shoulders, arms, and it went through to Palmer the keeper. End of the over. Homewood 6 for 2. So in this game, normally they would be facing. It would have to be 100 overs, but because they lost some time as a result of a wet pitch, the overs have been reduced to 93. 93 for the game. Instead, so far they have bowled 5 out of that and have taken 2 Homewood wickets. So Kemar Williamson to face Robinson. Robinson's coming from the main road or the northern end. Passes the umpire and he bowls and he's driving out outside the off. Some there's an appeal, but the umpire will have none of it. There was no touch, and Reed collected. He was thinking that Williamson had got a touch to it, but the umpire Didn't go with him at all. 6 for 2 Homewood. Robinson again to test Kemar Williamson. Right, even he's driving that into the offside. Not with enough power to get by the man at mid-off. No run resulting. Easy delivery coming onto the bat that Williamson was just behind it, dropping it right in front of him. And Robinson just went through, picked it up, and is now going back to his mark to try again. 1 wicket apiece for Robinson and Silvera. Silvera caught a ball and the Robinson LBW decision. B. Robinson cannot pronounce that first name. He runs it again. Passes the umpire and he bowls, and that one is down the leg side. And Williamson tried to glance it, didn't get a touch, but Reed was across smartly, collected cleanly, and the ball is relayed to Robinson. Still two slips. The gully. A man is at backward square leg. A man on the fine leg fence, mid off, mid on cover. Robinson again, and it swings that down to fine leg. Thought that that was in the air, but it got to him on the bounce, and he probably waited too long. The other fielders are upset with him because they thought he should have taken that, but they went through for a run. So Williamson is off the mark, and the score goes up to 7. That's 7 for 2 Homewood. So this time the left-handed Palmer will face Robinson. Comes in, delivers. Ah, that's a wicked bounce that went right across his face. He could have, I think he could have seen the writing on that delivery. It went through very quickly. Didn't know that Robinson had that kind of pace, and he was able to rock out of the way, and the keeper took it quite cleanly, comfortably, I should say. At the end of the over, Homewood 6 for 2. So 6 overs have been bowled so far in this game. Silvera to continue from the pavilion end, and he's going around the wicket, and he will be bowling to Williamson. Skipper is changing the field. There is a man backward square leg, fine leg, still two slips, and here comes Silvera. Delivers outside the off stump, Palmer shouldering arms, and the keeper takes comfortably. So on the offside, you have Gully, you have point halfway to the boundary. There is a cover and a mid off. Williamson to face Silvera. Passes the umpire, jumps, he delivers. And nothing in that special because Williamson is just dropping that one right in front of him. The man at gully picks up. He's doing some shining work on the ball, hoping that Silvera will get some movement through the ear on that. Ball is back with Silvera, running in again. Outside the half stump, and there's an appeal, and the umpire shakes his head. Don't know what that one touched, but they were confident that they brushed something, but the umpire was not in agreement with him from this distance. I couldn't tell. The umpire is closer to what is happening, and he said, not out. So Homewood 7 for 2 as Sylvia runs in again to bowl to McKinnon, to Williamson. Williamson just pushing that one into the covers. No run resulting from it. Sylvia one more time. Passes the umpire and he bowls, and that one is just played down to mid on. They're hustling through for a single. Can there be a run out? Eventually, they got it quite easily because the man at mid on allowed that one to trickle behind him, and the bowlers, the batters were really taking notice, and they were able to go through for a single 8 for 2. Homewood in over number 7. That brings the left-handed Rashid Palmer to face. Palmer has not yet troubled the scorer. Here comes Silvera again. Quick delivery outside the off stump. Palmer just rocking away from it and goes through the keeper at the end of the over. Homewood 8 for 2. Still no change in the bowling yet. Fast bowlers are limited in their overs per session. I think they have 8. Here comes Robinson again. Is pitching that one up and played on the offside, but he was able to get the left hand down quickly, stopped it. No run. Trying to tell you how many deliveries Williamson has faced. He's on. He has faced 17 balls, and they have not scored yet. Oh, 17 for 2 runs. Oh, driving into the offside. Elegant looking stroke, but not able to beat the man at cover. 18 balls now for 2 runs. The batter should be trying to rotate the strike so that no single bowler will be able to hit a length that they are unable to negotiate. Just keep the strike turning over. Find the gaps. But they're not willing to take on the STETHS bowlers. So Kemar Williams again will face Robinson as he runs in from the northern end. Easy pushing that down into the offside. No run. Robinson to Williamson. And he's trying to play at that one. It was a bounce on the umpires. Stretch both arms out, indicating that that is a wide delivery, but it was a quick bouncer. And Williamson tried to hook at it. The ball was through before he got into position. It was wide anyway, so no harm done, except to the bowler's average. So that makes it 9 for 2 Homewood. Being put into bat by STETHS. Here comes Robbins again to Williamson. Down the leg side, the keeper didn't call it cleanly this time, but they weren't able to get a single. So a man at backward square, fine leg, 2 slips, a gully, a point, cover, mid off, mid on, mid wicket region, vacant, a whole lot of space between backward square leg and the mid on. Here comes Robinson again. And that is exactly where Williams has placed it. Across for one, they're coming back for the second. Will there be a third? They should be able to make it. They've decided against it. An erratic return, but nevertheless, they are limited to 2 runs. A lovely shot played in the vacant mid-wicket area, and they were able to collect 2. So the score has moved up to 11, 11 for 2. Robinson again, toiling. Bouncer outside the off stump. McInnes just looked at it and said, "Oh, I can read the writing on this. I don't have to play it." And it went through to Reed, who collected the end of the over. Homewood. They are 11 for 2. So 8 overs have been completed. Looks like we're going to have a change in bowling from the pavilion or southern end. Silver has given way to Delante Scott. Delante Scott looks like he's a medium pacer. Has 27 on his shirt back. He looks a slim lad to be able to bowl any effective pace, but size doesn't always matter in cricket. Scott played. I'm sure he played on the winning Headley Cup team last year. So he has taken over from Silver coming from the pavilion or the southern end. He'll be bowling to Palmer, Rashid Palmer. A long run for a small lad. Let us see what he can do over the wicket now. Passes the umpire and he bowls and is driving that outside the off stump. Misses. The keeper goes to his left, collects it, passes it back to the man at second slip. And because of that, there's a change in the field. There's a man going now to third man. Third man, you have Fine Leg. They're still rearranging the field. Mid off, mid on, mid wicket. The two batters are discussing strategy now as to how they're going to be dealing with Scott. Because in as much as he's a small lad, he looks quite nippy. Something seems to be happening out there. They're looking at the picture, two umpires. Not sure if they have the turf or the soil coming up. But the bowler Scott is not really interested in what they're doing out there. Palmer is coming to have a look. Not sure if a repair job is going to be needed. The umpire has not signaled yet to the pavilion. The bowler's footmark seem to be a little rougher than it should be. Probably the soil is getting loose. Scott is remarking his run up. Said probably had something to do with the footmark of the bowler. The umpires apparently are satisfied with what happened. And at the square leg end is comfortable. The umpire at the bowler's end is ready to get things going again. So Scott again. Yorker length delivery. That's played out into the covers. Ball went back to the keeper. It's going to be conveyed via mid-off to Scott. Scott is not a very tall fellow, so I'm not thinking that he's going to be bowling any bouncer. He's more or less a skinny kind of bowler. Here comes running again. Passes the umpire and he bowls, and that one is played into the covers again. Palmer looking quite comfortable to the bowling of Scott. Scott not really offering any puzzles or riddles in terms of his bowling. And Palmer is just content to come on the front foot and push them into the covers. Scott again. And that is hitting him on the pad. Palmer was coming forward, but one should be thinking that it was pitched outside the leg stump. And a delivery pitching outside the leg stump, even if it appears as if it's going to hit wicket, should not be given out leg before by the umpire. And that didn't happen here. There was excitement there. The appeal was loud, but the umpire would have absolutely none of it. And Scott has to go back to his mark. He's not looking comfortable with that decision, it would appear. But it seemed as if it was pitched outside the leg stump. Here comes Scott again to bowl to Palmer. And he's playing that down into the third man area. They go for one. They're content to take it, and that's what they'll get. Score now moves up to 12. 12 for 2 Homewood. Homewood not in any hurry to get the scoring going at all. It's not a limited overs game, but after 8 overs, you're into the ninth. You'd think that they'd want to be more positive. So Kemar Williamson to face Scott. Scott still continuing over the wicket. Williamson sets and Scott runs it up, passes the up, and he bowls, and that is pitched up, but it's going down the leg side, and Williamson had a swing at it, hoping to hike that over mid wicket, but didn't get a touch. It's the end of the over. The umpire signaled to the pavilion that next over there's going to be drinks. So after 9 overs, Homewood is 12 for 2. Looks like there's also going to be a change of bowling from the northern end. Let us see who is going to be coming in. Let me just touch base with the score to find out who the new bowler is going to be. Oh, they've just switched Silveira to the northern end. Just a change of end for Silveira. A change of end by Silveira is going to be bowling to Palmer. If you're interested in World Cup T20, England and Pakistan, I'll give you the score in a moment. Here comes Silveira now. Passes the umpire and the bowls and forward goes Palmer. Silveira on his follow through picks up, had a brief conversation with Palmer, all in jest. No run resulting, and he goes back to his mark. So England, they are 104 for 5 from 12 overs. They need 61 runs from 47 deliveries. Silveira again. Palmer just coming forward, playing that down into the mid-on area, and no run. Score is still on 12 for 2. Stets won the toss and decided that they would field first. Homewood opened with Sajay Green and Brian McInnes. Green went LB double for naught, and McInnes was caught on board by Silvera for 2. Silvera again to Palmer. Outside the half stump. That one came back a bit. Wicket keeper Reed had to hustle to his right to take that one. Some movement there from Silvera. But luckily for Palmer, he didn't get a touch. So the score remains on 12 for 2 Homewood in over number 9. Well, that should be over number 10. Silvera again to Palmer. Delivers, and Palmer is just getting back into his wicket, pushing that down into the leg side. Thought of a single, but the fielder was in too quickly, and they change their mind. The score remains on 12. 12 runs for 2 wickets, Homewood. There's a change in the field. There's a man now at deep square leg. 2 slips, a gully, a point. Silvera running in, passes umpire Brownie, delivers, and Palmer is just pushing the right leg down the pitch and having a look at it, not offering a shot or a stroke, and it went through to the wicketkeeper. Final delivery of this over from Scott. Here comes Silvera. Silvera, I should say. Here comes Silvera. Final delivery, and he goes to Palmer. Palmer just looks at that one and walks away as it's drinks time. 12 for 2 Homewood. Not out batters are Kemar Williamson and Rashid Palmer. Come back in a little while to continue the battle. Back with you after the water break. Homewood on 13 for 2. They would have loved an extra one. It's actually 12 for 2. Scott is going to resume from the pavilion end. So there's a fine leg. A man at mid wicket, mid on, third man, point. There's a mid off and the cover. Here comes Scott. And that is into the path. There's an appeal. The umpire shakes his head in the negative, and that's not out. So the second delivery after the water break. Williamson to face. Scott delivers. And he's bowled him! Middle stump. A full delivery, a Yorkerland delivery. And Williamson was driving at that. He played over it. And the middle stump rocked back. Bowled by Scott. So, okay. So he made 4. What's Scott? His first name. D. Scott. So the incoming batter is Ali Dunkley, replacing Williamson, who had his middle stump rocked back by Scott for 4. So the score goes up to 12. 12 for 3. Stets refreshed after the water break. Immediately, well, 3 deliveries after the water break, 3 deliveries, getting the wicket of Kemar Williamson, comprehensively bowled by Scott for 4. So Ali Dunkley is the new batter. In the meantime, Pakistan are 120 for 5 from 14.3 overs. They need 45 runs from 33 balls at 8.18 per over. Here comes Scott again from the pavilion end to bowl to Ali Dunkley, and Dunkley driving at, and there's an appeal for a catch behind, and the umpire raises the finger. So Ali Dunkley facing one delivery. So Ali Dunkley didn't trouble the score at all. So the new batter is Maurice Duckensing. Scott is on a hat trick. So Homewood in a bit of bother, 12 for 4. I don't think that Ali Dunkley is satisfied with that decision. The umpire took his time. Eventually, he raised his finger, and Dunkley had to come back to the pavilion without troubling the scorer. So Maurice Duckensing is to face Scott. Scott is on a hat trick. Let's look at the field. Two slips. Third man. Gully. Point. Mid off. Mid on. Here comes Scott. Passes the umpire and he bowls and he's pitched that one up. There's an appeal for LBW. The umpire says not out. Hat trick averted. That was a well pitched up delivery. From our point here, we're not sure whether it was hitting the stumps or not, but the umpire is in a better position. We are at a wide mid-on, so to speak, in the pavilion, not exactly behind the bowler's arm, but confident that the umpire saw exactly what he should have seen, and he said, not out. Homewood struggling, 12 for 4. Scott again, pitch that one up, and is driving the keeper, goes to his left, collects cleanly. Reed was the keeper last year, but it, yeah, he looks. Who was Reed the keeper last year? Yes, I'm thinking that he's the keeper, but he looks a better keeper this season. Clean, moving well. He looks a better keeper this season than last. Scott again to test Duckensing. Passes the umpire, delivers, pitching that one up, no contact. It goes to the keeper who collects cleanly. End of the over. Homewood 13 for 4. It's 12. I keep giving them an extra, and I think they could do well with it. So after 11 overs, they are 12 for 4. Silvera again from the main road or northern end comes up to Palmer. That one is outside the off stump. There's an appeal. Silvera holds his head. Not sure. So in the other game, Manchester High School against Garvin Massiot, Manchester, they are 62 for 1 from 14.3 overs. Garvin Massiot, they're yet to bat. Very technical there. 104 for two against Mayday. Black River, 65 for 8, 15.4 overs against Little London. Here comes Silvera to Palmer, wide outside the off stump, and he's flashing at it. And the keeper goes to his right, and he picks up quite easily. No run. So those are the other games in the Headley Cup competition. Right here at STETHS, Homewood against STETHS. They are 12 for 4. So there's a no ball. So it's now 13, by courtesy of that no ball. So Maurice Duckensing, and Palmer. They are the two batters out there. Rashid Palmer fighting the battle for Homewood. Here comes Silvera again to Palmer, and he's pitching that one up, and they go through for a quick single. The keeper went to his right, wasn't able to collect it, and they went through for a bye. So in that T20 World Cup, England Pakistan, England 138 for 5 in over number 16. Harry Brook on 90 and Jacks on 18. So Silvera is coming around the wicket now. He's going to be bowling to Maurice Duckensing. Here comes Silvera. And full face of the bat from Duckensing, playing that down to mid-off. And no run coming from that. The score remains on 13 for 4. Silvera again to Duckensing. Oh, that one dropping shot at the man in the gully, but he was able to knock it down, and they weren't able to go through for a single. Score remains on 14, corrected to 14, 14 for 4 Homewood. Pakistan in a spot about against England. Harbrook 90 from 48, with Jacks 24 from mating facing. 144 for 5, 16.2 overs. Shine Shah did 3 for 20 from 3.3 overs. Here comes Silvera from the northern end, and he bowls, and is flashing outside the off stump is Ducken Singh, not getting a touch. All excitement around the bat. Two at slipper, one in the gully, and the keeper. But nothing from the bat of Ducken Singh. And the ball is now being relayed to the bowler, who will continue his work from the northern end, hoping that he can get a fifth wicket for STETHS. Well, that's Silvera. Also Ducken Singh, and he's driving, and he's bowled him. That was a delivery on the stop. Duckensing was driving at it, missed it completely, hit the stumps, and it went down into the fine leg boundary. I thought that it came off the pad, but with everybody out there shouting and all excited, bails were on the ground, and another wicket went. So, Homewood, they are 14 for 5. Salmon is replacing Maurice Duckensing. Just trying to check Duckensing's score. I don't want to say he made his name, but he didn't trouble the scorer. Duckenson didn't. So Romario Salmon, but he's not going to be facing because that was the last ball of the over. Scott will continue from the pavilion end to bowl to Palmer. Palmer under that yellow helmet. He's not ready. Scott has to go back to his mark as the umpire stretches out a left arm to stop him. He's not a police officer. Where your police officer probably would have raised that hand up to head high. But he's an umpire, so he stretched it out. 14 for 5. Here comes Scott from the pavilion end. Passes the umpire and he bowls to Palmer. Palmer sliding that one off the bat into the offside. They can't get a single because the fielder is coming around quite quickly into the point area and no run. The meantime, England 155 for 6 from 17 overs. Well, that should be 155 for 6. Overton is the new batter. Here comes Scott in this Headley Cup competition, running in from the southern end. He delivers, and Palmer is. I'm not sure whether he was doing a dance or playing a shot, but he made absolutely no contact and recollected quite cleanly. Pass it to the man that slipped, and it is being relayed back to Scott, who will continue to try and get Palmer out. Scott again swinging outside the leg stump. Is Palmer not making contact? Palmer has been there for a number of deliveries. I'm trying to find out how many deliveries Palmer has faced for his one. 20 deliveries for his one. Things are getting difficult for him out there. He's been there for 20 deliveries only to score one, and as a result, HOLMWOOD are 14 for 5. Three batsmen, our batters have failed to trouble the scorers. Scott again. And that one is played down the ground. I tried to go for a single, but the man from mid-off was around quickly, almost behind the stumps, and he picked up, and the batters changed their mind. Didn't want to lose a sixth wicket. England 159 for 6. Overton has not yet faced a delivery. Scott again. Short delivery. Palmer just shouldering arms. Went through to the keeper Reed, but he didn't collect clean at this time. No run resulted anyhow. So Silvera and Scott, they have 2 wickets each. Robinson just the one via that LBW decision. 14 for 5, HOLMWOOD. Scott again from the pavilion end. To Palmer, and Palmer is driving at outside the off stump. It pees off the bat down to third man, and they go through for an easy single. Return comes into wicketkeeper Reed. So it's the end of that over. Looks like about 13 overs. 13 overs have been bowled so far. I just check with the scorer to make sure. 13 overs, and there are 15. 15 for 4 Homewood. So England now need 6 runs from 14 deliveries. 156 for 6. So Harry Brook was able to complete his century, 100. To England 159 for 6 from 17.4 overs. 6 runs to win from 14 deliveries. Silvera stretching again. He had some injuries last season and wasn't able to give it his all. Let us hope that he remains injury free this season. He will continue from the northern end. So Silvera coming again. Driving that is Palmer holding the pose into the offside. Silvera. I just played that into the onside by Palmer having a little dance. Score remains on 15. 15 for 5 Homewood. It's certainly not the Homewood of old. I remember when it was a battle royal between STETHS and Homewood, two of the top teams in the DaCosta competition years ago. Here comes Silvera now to Palmer, and Palmer's driving that down to mid off, no run. That was a wild swing by Jackson. He's bowled for 28 from 22 deliveries. So England still needing 5 runs from 11 deliveries. 160 for 7 England in this T20 World Cup against Pakistan. Scott, Silvera, I should say Silvera coming in again. Left arm delivery outside the off stump. Palmer just shouldering arms and allowing it to go to the wicket keeper. So 2 batters at the crease for England on 0. Have not faced any deliveries. 167, 160 for 7 really. 18.1 overs. They need 5 runs from 11 deliveries to take this match against Pakistan. Meanwhile at stats, it's Silvera running in from the main road end. Passes the umpire and he bowls and Palmer is back on his wicket, pushing that one into the offside. They go through for a quick single. They made it. It pushes the score up to 16. 16 for 5. Homewood. Oh, that one was pitched up and driven by Rashid Palmer into the cover boundary. That's the first four off the bat. 20 for 5, Wormwood. The under of the boundary was a leg by. So it's the end of the over. Wormwood 20 for 5. That Romario Summon is the one who scored that one. Here comes Scott again now to bowl to Palmer, and Palmer is hit on the pad. There's an appeal, but clearly outside the leg stump. Ball ricochets into the mid-on area. No run. England is making heavy weather of this game. They're 161 for 8, needing 4 from 7. Scott again to Palmer. He delivers, and Palmer is driving that one into the offside. Can't get past the man at extra cover, so he has to go back into his grounds to wait another delivery from which he may get some more runs. So Palmer is on the 3 and he faces Scott now. Scott pitching that one up, driving at it. Looks as if it hit the bottom of the bat, bounces in front of him, and then spun away into the offside. No run. An ungainly looking stroke. I'm not sure what he was planning, but no. They have a conference in the pitch, in the middle of the pitch. Romaro Salmon and the Rashid Palmer. So let us see what these two, the, the so Scott to Palmer again. Outside the leg stump. So that one missed it. The keeper missed it, but no run coming from that. 162 for 8. England needing 3 from the last over. 3 from 6 deliveries, legal deliveries. Chasing this target of 165. Making heavy weight of it. England should be able to get by just 3 runs from this over. This World Cup T20 game. England versus Pakistan. England chasing 165 or 162 for 8. 3 runs needed from 6 overs. Certainly Palmer will need more runs from this over. Scott runs in again. Outside the off stump and is driving into the covers, not getting past the man in the number 17 shirt. Score is still 20 for 5. Scott again around the wicket, pitching that one up outside the off stump. Palmer drives that and misses, goes through the keeper who collects cleanly. End of the over. Let me just check to see how many overs. Looks like 14. The score overs. 15 overs. 15 overs gone. 20 for 5. HOLMWOOD. Very slow going. Has not been easy out there for them. They're not being given runs delivery, so to speak. They've had to work hard. Only one boundary so far in the 20. Off the bat, that is, they got 4 leg byes. Dawkinson went for naught. Ali Dunkley for naught. Sajay Green for naught. Brian McInnes for 2. Kemar Williamson for 4. Those are the 5 batters who are back in the pavilion. Silvera has been halted in his run by the umpire. So England have taken this game from Pakistan. Right down to the wire it went. And Simon was thinking of a quick run there, just dropped it down into the offside, but changed his mind because the fielder was in like a flash. And he had to get back to safety. Ramiro Salmon again, waiting for Silvera. Silvera motoring in from the northern end. Passes the umpire, delivers, and is driving back past the ball. A beautiful shot, and it races away. Will it get to the boundary in front of the fielder? It does so now. 4 beautiful runs. I'm not sure Silvera will like that. Salmon's 2 scoring shots have been boundaries. He's on to 8. So it is now 24 for 5. Wormwood. That one was pitched up by Silvera, and someone was on the front foot and driving that one on the offside of it. Here comes Silver again outside the off stump. Quicker delivery. Someone just watch it going through to wicketkeeper Reed. Oh, okay. A change in ball in it looked like Silvera from here, but it's actually Robinson who has been who has replaced Silvera from the northern end. So one delivery to end this over. Bouncer just over the leg stump. Someone wafted at it, made no contact. That went through the keeper. End of the over. Homo they are 24 for 5. So Salmon is on 8, and the Palmer, who has been there forever, still on 3. What the hell is this? Scott, that one is driven back down the pitch smartly by Palmer, but getting nothing out of that. Scott again to Palmer. And it's driving that, getting an inside edge. It's just trickling down on the onside, and Scott going through, picks up, no run. Here comes Scott again to Palmer. Palmer is driving that. They go for a quick single. They got it because the fielder at mid off. A lazy throw, wide throw. Ball bounced before it got to the keeper anyway. And Palmer was able to get his fourth run. Romario Samano. He's going to be facing Scott. Somebody running in with purpose. Passes the umpire and he pulls. And that one is driven. That, oh my goodness. Oh, oh, that was hit over Scott's head for 6. No, when you hit a pasteboard over his head for 6, it really means you are seeing the ball as big as a breadfruit. That was a beautiful shot indeed. And Scott certainly will not like that. But he looks like someone who hits the ball very hard. Someone, here comes Scott again. Pitching it, and he's driving that into the covers, coming sweetly off the bat. No run coming from that. But anybody would be wondering why someone is batting at number 7 and not earlier. So it's 32 now for 5. And he's driving that outside the off stump, missing, goes through the keeper. A no ball signal by the umpire. It's a no ball. Scott is getting flustered now after being hit over his head for a 6 by Salmon. So he bowled a no ball. Has to do it all over again. Scott again to Romario Salmon. And he's driving that through the offside, and the hustling for it, but they'll come back for the second. The throw comes into the keeper. Beautiful throw alongside the stump, but the batters were able to take two. Salmon is in serious mode. He probably was sitting in the pavilion wondering what the batters out there were doing, and he's come to show them that this bowling can be handled. Scott again, round the wicket. He comes to the left-hander, driving into the offside, but not getting enough power behind it. And goes down to mid-off. End of the over, no run. Score goes up to 34. 34 for 5, Homewood. So far, Steds, they have used three bowlers, Silvera, Robinson, and Scott. Players on the ground after being attended to might have had some minor repairs being done. Looks like Robinson is going to continue from the northern end, and he'll be bowling to Palmer. Palmer has occupied the crease for a number of deliveries. I think he's on 38 deliveries for his four. Robinson outside the off stump. Palmer just glanced at it as it goes through keeper read, goes through the keeper. No interest from Palmer. Robinson again, running in. Goes to Palmer. Palmer is looking to drive, but that one bounced up right across his chest. A bouncer for Robinson. The keeper collects cleanly. There was excitement because of that bouncer. No run coming from it. Still 35 for 5. Another delivery from Robinson outside the off stump. Not troubling the batter Palmer at all. The line wrong. The length probably is correct, but he has to change his line if he wants to create any problems for Palmer. Robinson still wayward line. Palmer doesn't have to play a shot at all. Robinson realizes that his line is wayward. He remonstrated with himself. Let us see that if from that he will be able to correct his line, getting Palmer to play and possibly giving a chance. Here comes Robinson again. This time on the stump, he just tucks it down on the leg side, and the fielder wasn't able to get to it. He played a good bit of football. He passed it, but didn't hit the stump. Instead of cricket, he played football a while ago. It was a neat pass because it got to the fielder on the other side, but the batters were through for a single, pushes the score now to 36, 36 for 5. It looks like we're going to be having a change in bowling from the pavilion end. Oh, Tyreek Bryan, the skipper, has taken over from Scott. Let us see what he's going to be doing with the ball. Got some wicket last season with a double century in the Sparling Cup. Let us see if he can uproot the stubborn Palmer, who is not scoring heavily at all. He's on 4 and has been there for a number of overs. So Tyreek Bryan, left arm. Oh, it's right arm. It appeared as if he was going to use it, but he's driven in the covers. Go through for one. They're coming back for the second, and they'll get it quite easily as the ball is returned to the keeper on the bounce. He collects. First delivery from Tyreek Brown was a gift, really, and Palmer was able to collect 2 runs from it. Over the wicket comes Tyreek Brown now, and he pitches that one up. Palmer watches it go across him. Leg spinner. Bryan again. Tossing that one up and is driving his Palmer misses the keeper. Attempts to take the bails off. Good delivery from Bryan. Turn and bounce there. He's making a minor adjustment to the field. Here comes again, and that one is short. And let us see if he got a touch to that. They come back for the second. No signal from the umpire. He got back to that, and it went by the keeper. So it's 40 for 5 now. Bryan again. The Palmer pitching that one up, getting some turn there, but pitching on or about the off stump going away. And Palmer just went across, put the pad there, and watched it as it went into the hands of the wicketkeeper. Too short. Then he's on the back foot, whipping that one into the leg side. It goes through the fielder. They're coming for one. They're going back for the second, and they'll get it quite easily. Wayward throw. 2 runs coming for that. The end of the over. Brian's first over, and that would have been 6 runs coming from it. Score now moves on to 42 for 5. So we have a change in bowling from the northern end. Joanne Lawson is your new bowler. Let us see if he can break this partnership for STETHS. Look at the fielder he's got now. He's going to be bowling to the left-hander, man at third, man point. Here he comes. That one is short, and the someone is just going on the back foot and rolling it down into the point region. So a man on the mid-wicket boundary, a man at backward square leg, long off, mid on, and that is driven back past the bowler. No excitement, so it didn't carry to him. And Salmon gets a single, brings Palmer now to face. Palmer was able to navigate the skipper Brian. Let's see what he does with Joanne. Playing that one easily into the offside though run. Just getting to the pitch of that one, opening the face and pushing it into the offside. Lawson again. Short delivery and is on the back foot, trying to cut that. Didn't get a touch. It goes to the keeper. No run coming from it. Lawson again. Driven down the ground, down to long off. The fielder comes in off the boundary, picks up. They go through for a single. End of the over. Just 2 runs coming from that last over. Score goes up to 43 or 44. 44 for 5. HOLMWOOD making a fight back. Since someone came to the wicket, he has encouraged the pushing of the score. A man way on the big wicket boundary now. Long off. Mid on. Brian. Wayward delivered down the leg side, and let us see if Palmer got any bat to it? Yes, he did. And they went through for the single. Someone now to face Brian. Someone looks like somebody who wants to go over the top. Here comes Brian. Pitch up and he's driving that into the offside. The man from long off is just coming in to pick that up and they go through for a single. Easy single. Score moves up to 46-5. Tyreek Brad. Short delivery onto the back foot goes Palmer, driving it into the covers. Can't get past the man there. No run. Brian again. That one was pitched outside